Today we will cover what you can start right now to improve your body composition and maximize your time with strength training. Are you feeling stuck, spinning your wheels, trying to figure out what to do while working out? I get it, and I've been there. Life, work, and family can just be a lot sometimes. The last thing you want to do is strength train when you barely have time to brush your teeth and run to softball practice. Many people struggle finding the time and energy to structure an effective strength training workout. I have personally used resistance strength training to lose 70 pounds at an earlier point in my life when I was not taking health quite as seriously. I am an ACE certified personal trainer with 20 years of experience in the fitness space. My goal is to make your fitness journey simpler through learning from my own lived experiences. In my years in the industry, I've learned that no matter what supposed tricks, hacks, opinions, studies, or new information that emerges, trends come and go, but maintaining muscle through strength training is more important than any passing trend to your health. My promise to you is that if you prioritize your health and make time to strength train, you will be able to do more of what you want to do for longer, maintaining a high quality of life. Stick around for the 4 bonus tips at the end as well. Here are 9 initial ideas to help you structure an effective strength training workout based on the time that you have. The last 2 will really help you understand what lifts and sets are most important to optimize results. First of all, you should start with good form with a full range of motion. You can still see benefits, some, from imperfect form, especially if you're just starting out, but this does not maximize what you get from every set. In addition, you really want to feel the movement as you go through, really focusing on the muscle you're working. Not just going through the motions, but really visualizing the area you are working. A true mind-muscle connection. The goal is to make the movement as hard as possible with proper form regardless of the amount of weight lifted. It's about the movement and not just ego lifting as much as you can. To support this, a meta-analysis from 2021 compared full range of motion to partial movements. It was a grouping of 16 studies that showed greater neuromuscular adaptations with full movement. Further, resistance training when performed with a full range of motion compared to partial range of motion showed increased muscle strength and hypertrophy, especially in lower leg exercises, which was interesting. While full range of motion is not likely to change your physique on its own, it can give you an additional 5 to 10% to really just fully maximize what you can. Let us know if this content is applicable to you and what other topics you would like to hear more on. Please subscribe and turn on notifications. It really helps us so much. Second, does strength training actually boost your metabolism, or is this a myth? The truth of the matter is metabolism to some extent is really out of our control. However, there are little things we can do to get the most from whatever our basal metabolic rate is. BMR, or basal metabolic rate, is just simply the calories that we burn just by living, like day-to-day basic activities. These can be influenced by age, gender, and genetics. Dr. Tim Church of Preventative Medicine at LSU published a study talking about how the size of our internal organs can play a big role in why some of us burn more calories than others. They found a 43% difference in metabolic rate of those in the study based on organ size alone, just looking at that. Bigger than this, the biggest determinant of metabolic rate is total body mass. So Dr. Church goes on to explain the more cells you have overall, the more you'll burn. Think about how it takes more energy to charge a computer than a phone. Those who are taller with a bigger bone structure will burn more than those who are shorter and/or slimmer. Now, to state the obvious, you can't change your height or bone structure. However, you can change your body mass by losing or gaining weight and changing body composition. It turns out, if you pack on some muscle weight, this could be something that tips your metabolic rate in the right direction. It's roughly estimated that every pound of muscle burns an extra 6 calories at rest per day. This is 3 times what fat burns. So if you were to add just 10 pounds of muscle and swap out 10 pounds of fat, you could burn 40 more calories a day, roughly, by simply having more lean muscle mass and less fat. While this is not as big of a deal as diet, it is still something that can boost up or add things to what you're doing long term so you can more efficiently burn calories and help your body composition. Genetics may be out of your control, but you can add some muscle, get good sleep, and work on diet just one step at a time. The next thing you can try to do is to perform compound lifts first, followed by isolation exercises. You should combine them in the same workout to increase effectiveness. For example, combine a larger body part with a smaller one that doesn't take as much out of you. For example, if you do a leg workout with a heavy squat, you might not have much energy left to then hit chest or back, as these are also large, taxing muscle groups to train. However, biceps are a smaller muscle, and you can still get a lot of biceps in without being too worn out from the legs, getting a good pump and blood flow to the area. This is just an upper-lower superset to torch multiple areas. The fourth topic, which is discussed in one of our previous videos, is called progressive overload, which in my opinion is key to success. It is important to not do the same thing all the time. Progressive overload is gradually, over time, increasing intensity or different variables in your workout to increase muscle size, strength, or endurance. You can increase weight, frequency or repetitions, sets, volume, and rest time, just to name a few. I would try one at a time and see how they affect you. This in turn challenges your body in new ways as it grows stronger. It can be really easy, guys, to just get too comfortable, and this can halt your progress. Often we think of rep ranges and sets, and we get married to this idea or favorite range. For example, we identify as just every workout we have to do 3 sets of one exercise, or maybe I always have to do 10 repetitions, or strength training is only doing 3 to 5 reps, or maybe you just view yourself as a 15 rep person. Whatever the idea is, we get stuck in our ways, or at least I do personally from time to time. The exact repetitions are not crucial. It's more important to mix things up and try different sets, reps, and weights so you don't get stuck and stop progressing. You need to try a variety of rep ranges to create a novel stimulus. Hypertrophy and progressive overload are not a set rep range, but more about being close to muscular failure. This leads into the 5th tip, which is, if you're trying to maximize muscle gains or maintain lean muscle mass, you really want to focus on hypertrophy training. This means not pushing maximum weight and not lifting for just power with quick jerking movements. Instead, you should be using lighter weights with more controlled movements. You really want to master the movement with pauses at the end of the range of motion, focusing on coming down slowly in the lowering eccentric stage of the movement. You're practicing tempo and truly controlling the load. You want to have a good mind-muscle connection, visualizing the muscle you're working out. Now, this is different from what people traditionally view as just pure strength training or power training. Often when people think of power movements and lifters, they often think of more explosive, closer to 1 rep max, pushing the maximum weight as quickly as they can. Conversely, hypertrophy training involves pushing near failure and maintaining good control. This is how I want you to think of strength training to continue to maintain a high level of muscle over a lifetime. A 6th tip is to focus on working in different planes of motions and angles while working a muscle. For example, if working chest, try a decline movement. Then try a flat press movement, then an incline movement, and even from time to time add in chest flies. That way you're working through these different ranges, these different angles, and this can really stimulate the muscle in different ways to increase growth, in unique ways to get the most from things. The 7th tip has to do with the all-important question of how many sets should you have per strength training workout. It could be anything as little as 1 or 2 sets as a beginner, and you could see benefits initially. If you're more advanced and train most days, you could do a couple sets of biceps or triceps a day and still see some gains. A 2019 meta-analysis looked at resistance strength training over almost 30 years to compile data on effective sets for training. They found that to maximize muscle growth and hypertrophy, generally anywhere from 12 to 28 sets per muscle group per week was effective. Now, guys, this is a wide range as there are many variables in fitness level, training style, and individual variability. If you train doing a muscle group or 2 a workout, you could train 12 to 15 sets per muscle. Whether you're doing supersets with opposing muscles or alternating upper and lower body lifts, the same workout, this is still an effective volume range. That way, you can hit at least 24 total sets if you hit each muscle twice a week. Just be aware that for most people, when you start getting about 15 sets or so roughly or above in a workout per muscle, it can start to tip the scale to junk volume, meaning it's on the higher end of what your nervous system can handle. So it's not recruiting muscles like you would like or need. Now, the 8th crucial tip to see significant changes in your physique and maintain muscle would be aiming to lift 3 to 5 days a week if you're serious about strength training. Now, I would aim for these strength training sessions to be about an hour. If you're tight on time, I would recommend a 2-day minimum routine to maintain and still see results. Unless you're really an aspiring professional bodybuilder, there are really diminishing returns after 5 days a week. You will make smaller gains at 6 or 7 days, and you risk injury as your body does need some time to recover. Now, I'm not saying that 6 days won't work for some, but this is just a general overall suggestion. The goal is to find a way that works for you and your schedule to hit each body part a couple of times a week, as studies have shown this to be the ideal amount. The ninth and final tip before our bonus tips is exercise selection. So, what are the best exercises to do? Is there a best exercise? That depends on your goals, but there are some good rules to stick to for better results. Start with compound lifts, as they require the most from your body. They're just great at increasing overall strength and efficiency. Think squat variations, bench press, deadlift, shoulder press, back rows, pull-ups, exercises like this. Things that recruit a couple muscles at least together. With that being said, there's also a place for isolation exercises to pump blood into specific muscles to improve your overall definition. I would just do them after or in between the larger lifts. This can be particularly helpful for lagging body parts. For example, if you're not happy with your biceps, start with those or add in a few extra quality sets. Not junk volume, but effective sets. Always start with exercises that are most fatiguing to you and work from there. Now, I know not everyone enjoys strength training or naturally loves lifting weights. Whether you call it weightlifting, strength training, resistance training, or athletic training, it is important to your overall health. If you want to maintain lean muscle mass, help your metabolism, and get stronger, just move and feel better, it will make a difference. There's so many different ways to lift, and one shoe, size, one thing certainly does not fit all. Variety is the spice of life that keeps things fun, and this applies to strength training as well. Full body lifts, body part splits, International Chest Monday, upper lower days, push, pull, legs and abs, or legs and arms, chest and back. There's something for everyone, and always a new way to try things when your body seems to get used to something and is plateauing. Since you've stuck around to the end, here are my 4 bonus tips to help you maintain muscle. These are non-negotiables that are crucial to muscle mass. 1 is protein intake. You need to have a high protein diet to maintain muscle. This will aid in your recovery from strength training. Roughly 1 gram per pound of body weight is ideal. Second, this should be obvious from this whole video, but you have to strength train, as this is the stimulus to build muscle. The weight training is breaking down your muscles, so they then recover and build back stronger, recovering with the amino acids that you have been having from your high protein diet. They work hand in hand. Third, heat from a sauna or hot tub helps your muscles as well. The heat opens blood vessels and will help to relax your muscles. Your body is then able to better carry oxygen and nutrients to aid in recovery. Fourth, consume omega-3 polyunsaturated fats as they help with recovery. They are anti-inflammatory and can help with perceived muscle soreness. Either get this from good fish and nut sources or add a supplement to your routine. You will find that by maintaining muscle, you will feel better about yourself, increase self-efficacy, move easier, and age gracefully. I know we all have different backgrounds, times, and interests. If you feel you've gained some value, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications. It really does help us so much. I hope that these tips will help you maximize time when you strength train. I hope that your weightlifting sessions will give you energy, help you feel stronger, and increase your confidence. There are so many variables that can be adjusted to keep things fun. You just need to mix things up. The goal is to have good form, prioritize compound lifts, use progressive overload, emphasize the feel of the weight over the pounds of the weight alone. Don't get married to one set rep range and consistently hit all muscles. If you do this, I promise you, you will see increased muscle and health benefits that will allow you to live the life you want. As always, we're trying to bring practical fitness advice to everyday people.